All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Adam Bria, Chair License and Permits Committee. It is Wednesday, December 1st at 6:02 PM. I'm going to call the meeting to order. I won't go over all the ground rules, but as always, if you have a comment or want to make a motion, just use the raise hand function and I will call on you. Marlene, if you don't mind doing the roll.
Sure. Leroy Andino. Eric Alcancella. Adem Brija.
Here.
Carlos Diaz.
Here.
Angela Donadell.
Here.
Judith Ferraro.
I'm here.
Jessica Morris. And Miguel Pava.
Here.
Shavasia Robinson Teague. And Jordan Wright.
Here.
You have quorum, Adem.
Do I have a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
So move.
All
You
right,
don't have to call for a motion,
Oh, I
Adem.
don't? Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
So then we'll adopt the agenda and we're also going to adopt the October committee minutes from last month. Do we have any announcements? I don't think so. And I don't think we have any informational updates either. So then we will just go to our first liquor license, which is starting CNM Corp. doing business as Andy's Restaurant, new application for a full liquor license at 2262 3rd Avenue on 123rd Street. Is the applicant here?
No,
Okay, well, it is a new application. They have all their documents, I know.
But isn't that a restaurant, not a bar?
yes,
Yeah, it's a new restaurant, I believe.
No, the Andy's restaurant been there. Right across from Taino Tower, they've been there for years.
right,
Really?
but I'm sorry, Adem.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Marlene.
Right, so I double checked, Carlos, just to answer your question, because I also had questions. So when I called the applicant, they have been around, but they're now applying for a liquor license. They want one now, to answer your question.
Okay, so they've been open, but without a liquor.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, it's a new license, so they're required to be here. I guess since they have everything in, and I'm assuming they were told to be here. I don't really want to take a vote on this yet. Let's just give them time to see if they wind up showing up. So, do I have to amend the agenda to do that now to hold the vote off, or can we just hold the vote and move on?
Right, you can hold it, because you've already,
Okay.
yeah,
kind
you've
of went
already
through it.
voted. Yeah,
Okay,
It's
All right.
Were they told to come?
yes,
someone's TV is on in the
Okay.
background. I'm hearing like background noise.
Yeah, that's mine. I'll shut it down.
Thanks. Okay, so then we will just move to number 2. Silla's Restaurant, a new application for a full liquor license for a restaurant located at 1664 Park Avenue, New York, New York. This is right next door to the board office. They don't have any documents in but their 30-day notice. I was told their rep was planning to attend, but I'm looking in the attendees and I don't believe they're here either, right?
no,
Well, with this one then, since they have nothing and I'm comfortable in taking a vote with this now. So, do I have a motion to deny number 2, Silla's Restaurant?
Motion to deny.
Motion made by Judith. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Angela. I guess Marlene will take the roll.
yes. Adem Brija,
Yes, I mean, in support of it being a denial.
yes. Carlos Diaz. Carlos. I'll come back to you, Carlos. Angela Donzo,
Deny.
thank you. Judith Ferraro,
Approved.
deny, okay.
Uh-huh.
Miguel Pava,
Deny.
thank you. Jordan Wright,
Deny.
thank you. The motion carries with them.
Okay, thank you.
Carlos
Yeah.
denied.
Thank you.
We'll
We got
move to
more.
number 3, Teddy's F&B. It's a new application for an all-night permit for New Year's Eve 2022 for a restaurant located at 2171 Second Avenue. So as far as I know, this is an existing establishment with a liquor license. I believe their current hours for their liquor license allow them to be open till 2 a.m. To serve liquor till 2 a.m. And this request is for the night of New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day, that they want to be open, I believe, from till like 8 a.m. in the morning. It says 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. Marlene, we had reached out to, Marlene, if I don't want to speak for you, would you rather share that? Okay, Marlene had reached out to SLA about concerns with this. And we had gotten a letter from the applicant, but haven't really been able to get in touch with them. And the SLA, however, had sent a letter back to Marlene saying that that this is an applicant that's in good standing with their current liquor license, and so that they didn't see any problem with it. I still think that we should take a vote on this. If anybody has any concerns or, wants to, we can't really ask any questions because they're not here, but, and this is going to be happening before we meet again. So, I don't know. I mean, we can express some concerns and take a vote. Does anyone have anything they want to say before I call for a motion?
Are they in a building with his tenants?
So I looked at the place and it's in a small building, but it does look like it would be residential above it. It looks like a maybe 2-3-story building on the middle of Second Avenue. I want to say it's like on 111th or 112th Street, something like that. It's a small storefront. You would almost not even notice it if you went by. And that's the thing with something like this. If there was even just like 1 or 2 tenants living upstairs, I'd feel comfortable knowing that there were and that they were okay with it. In this case, we don't have that. We're also not sure that there are tenants up there because there really hasn't been we haven't really been able to correspond with them. I mean, I can make one suggestion that if we do deny it, that we, I see a hand, I'll call on her, Angela, as soon as I finish. Just that if we do deny it tonight, I know Marlene's been trying to get in touch with them. Maybe it's possible that we still do get in touch with them, say before executive or full board, and give them at least a chance to then, talk about whether they're residents there or whatever, but that's just my 2 cents. Angela, go ahead.
So you know that this is something that I would probably be denial. But
Oh, I mean,
it's the holidays. They want the permit for a Friday night because New Year's Eve is on a Friday night and the kids don't go back to school till Tuesday. So I think if they can get something saying from the tenants, if there are tenants, that they're all right with it, I would go with this. I would vote for this, yes.
yeah, give me 1 second, because I'm gonna pull this address up again on my computer. I mean, it'll just give me, I did look at it earlier and I did drive by, but I just wanna get yeah, so I mean, I'm looking at like an image on like Google Earth or whatever, Street View it says it's from August of 2021. And it definitely looks like someone is living right above here. I mean, there's curtains in the window, there's an air conditioner, and there looks like there's even a 3rd floor. And then there's even residential, there's like a taxi parts store to the left of it. And there's 3 residential units there as well. And then there's like a big building to the right, but there's a lot of scaffolding and stuff, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. I agree with Angela in terms of the timing of it and everything being a Friday night, but without knowing about how the tenants feel, I do have that concern too. Jessica? Jessica, if you want to speak, I see your hand is up.
I think she froze.
I think she's
Oh.
frozen.
Okay.
Mhm.
I have the same concern about the tenants.
Yeah.
I mean, all they did was give this letter, so.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, at least since I've been on, I've never seen an application like this or this request. I'd be okay with it because SLA said they're in good standing. Clearly, they have no issue with it. And like Angela said, it being a Friday night going into a Saturday, again, just the tenants are the concern. And so, I don't know. I want to
And
just,
it's a night that everybody stays up late.
well, it's a Friday night and then New Year's. I mean, I don't know
And
anyone
it's
who's not
New Year's Eve.
who's staying up till after at least midnight. The only thing is they want it till 8 a.m. So I mean, they could be going 4 or 5 a.m., with music and stuff. Again, I personally, if I was living in that building, wouldn't have a problem with it for one night, but I don't want to speak for other people. I'm also just stalling because I want to see if Jessica comes back in since she had her hand up. But
No, I am concerned about the tenants. What if there's children?
yeah, no, I
I
mean,
mean,
I
is
just
there a
feel
way
like they
that
have
we
the
can
right.
find out?
Well, I mean, like I said, what I might even do myself tomorrow, depending on how this vote goes, is, and I don't know if this would be okay, Marlene, I'm gonna maybe just give the place a call. And, maybe I'll just tell them to reach out to you. I'll give them your email and just say, so that you could like invite them to say executive or whatever. And just say like, this is what our concern is, about if you have tenants and if possible. Again, I know we're not asking for petitions right now, but this is a special circumstance and we're not asking for 25 signatures during COVID. We're literally asking them to just ask the people upstairs if they'd be willing to, be okay with this. So I'll give that a try tomorrow. Maybe that's the best, just to call the business, get someone on the phone. Even if they can't do it, they can get in touch with someone who can. All right, so I don't know what happened to Jessica. Then I'm just gonna, I don't see any other hands. I'll take a motion on this thing.
Well,
So your motion is to go to executive session?
Well, you just can make a motion to deny, and then we're going to extend that invitation to them. So you don't have to actually make that. So you could just be a motion to deny.
Make
Are
the
you-
motion to deny.
Okay, then there's a motion to deny by Angela. Do I have a second?
Second.
I second.
Seconded by Carlos. Marlene, if you don't mind taking the roll.
Adem Briha,
Deny.
Carlos Diaz,
Deny.
and Donato,
Deny.
Judith Ferraro,
Deny.
Miguel Pava,
Deny.
and Jordan Wright.
Deny.
Okay, the motion carries to deny.
Okay, so we'll now we don't actually have any like new street activities, but we do have the stickball events that have not happened for like the last year or two. And they're gonna be doing it now coming up this year. And we have Alex here who runs that event. And just before I give him the floor, I believe the request was that they had submitted all their documentation for those events that they never held, and they just wanted to see if they could submit that same documentation, which I'm of the belief that if SAPO is okay with that and with, everything going on with COVID and we're not requesting signatures and this event's been going on for a long time without any problems, that I'm personally okay with it. My only concern was about asking the applicant, then I'll give them the floor, about an updated COVID safety plan. And I think now with this Omicron variant and all this coming out, that is even more necessary. Now, I know they might have had a COVID plan from like a year and a half ago or whatever, but I think maybe something just up to date, and that's would be something that would make us probably feel more comfortable about it. But I'll now give the floor to Alex, and then we'll see if anybody from the committee has any questions or comments.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Great. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I just want to apologize for last time. I just came out of work a little bit later than I anticipated. So I just want to apologize for last month.
That's fine. We're glad to have you here this month.
Yeah. Well, with the permits, we all met, we always meet in January. And, you know, because of COVID and everything, we just canceled all the permits. They started to open up the city in the middle of the summer of this year, but it was already too late. But our plans is what we did was follow with what the Bronx League is doing, where we have like a couple of tables with PPEs. We have a guy always sanitizing the ball before we give it in so people can use. According to this new variant that's coming, you know, we'll meet up again in January and see, you know, how it is, because I'm a little concerned about that myself. So I guess that's it.
Okay, Carlos?
Yeah, Alex, the people that are gonna be participating, are that the East Harlem groups or these are the Bronx groups?
No, this is East Harlem. Everybody's from East Harlem.
Okay, great. All right, great. Okay, I just want to make sure that that we accommodate the teams here in East Harlem.
Mhm.
I guess we would take a vote on this tonight, right? If we choose to. My only thing again is, and Marlene, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So Alex, I need you to fill out, when you get a chance, the Staples COVID safety affirmation plan,
Okay.
right? Because in 2020, when you applied and the board approved your applications in 2020, that document didn't exist. So what's gonna happen is SAPO will deny you. They'll deny you on your end, and then you're gonna come back to the board, and I'm gonna have to speak to SAPO on your behalf. Just to avoid that denial from them, just send it to me, please.
Okay. Yeah, because
On your end.
right. Yeah, because that's the first thing I did. I went straight to them and I asked if I can move all the permits over to to the following year, and they just granted that. You know, but yeah, I don't have a
Right.
problem with that. Yeah, I can fill that out.
Right, and once your application, like, so once they start vetting it for 2022, they're gonna see, oh, he doesn't have the affirmation.
Right.
And they're gonna deny it. So
I
just,
understand. Okay, I understand.
thanks.
Okay, so whoever, I'm assuming it's gonna be a motion to approve, but whoever makes the motion, if it is to approve, I ask that you make it a conditional motion that they have the COVID safety plan filled out and sent to Marlene. I'm gonna say by this Friday, because it's like a 5-minute thing to fill out, and they can just scan it and email it to her. So,
So I'd like to make that motion to accept with those conditions.
okay, so Alex, just so you're aware, just have that form to Marlene by this Friday, say end of business, so 5 PM if possible. I mean, if you're a little bit late with it, it's not gonna be the end of the world, but yeah. So Carlos made that motion to approve with the condition that they have the COVID safety plan filled out and sent to Marlene by this Friday. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who seconded it? I didn't see. Miguel?
Miguel.
Okay,
Yes.
Miguel, thank you. Then Marlene, if you don't mind taking the roll.
Dan Brija,
Approve.
thank you. Carlos Diaz,
Approved.
Angela Donadell,
approve,
it's Judith Rivera,
approve,
Miguel Pava,
Approve.
and Jordan Wright.
Approve.
Okay, the motion carries to approve with the conditions.
All right, thank you. All right, so before we wrap up, we're just gonna go back to item one for the liquor licenses. Start,
Andy,
what? Okay, I don't know who said that. Starting,
what happened with Andy's recipe?
I said we're going back to that right now.
Oh, okay,
And the applicant, the reason we put it off was because we were waiting for the applicant to attend. They are not here. And with new applications, it's part of our process that they need to be here, which I
I'll
do.
make, I'll
feel-
make a motion to deny.
Okay, before you do that, I see a hand up. So Jessica.
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. No, don't worry. I'll entertain your motion as soon as she comments. I don't know if,
Here, but she's having audio connectivity.
yeah, I know.
Mhm.
Okay, she dropped off again. Anyway, I'll take Carlos's motion to deny. Do I have a second for that?
me, I deny,
Seconded by Judith. Marlene, if you don't mind taking the roll again.
Sure, no problem.
why does it say my name is Judith Molina?
Judith, are you ready for me to call the roll?
Marlene,
Mhm.
never mind. I just see two people came in all out of nowhere into the attendees,
Are
but
they probably the applicants?
how would this work now? We're like literally.
I gotta find out. I just gotta call it, if you don't mind.
No, 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 if they're the applicants to Andy's, then all Carlos has to do is retract his motion.
Does he?
Right, I know, but
Marlene, take your time.
I understood.
Marlene, take your time. If you want to take a minute, why don't we?
Yeah, I
just-
understood. I just
Okay.
need to find out who these people are. So I know that Sandra is representing the starting place. I know that for a fact. Let me
Okay.
find out if this Colado is for Celia's.
Okay.
Oh, not Andy.
Hi,
Okay.
Colado, are you here for Celia's Incorporated?
Yes,
Okay. Hold on.
Xavier, I see your hand up. If you want to speak,
Thanks, hope everyone's doing well and had a happy Thanksgiving and observation of Indigenous Peoples' Day as well. When it comes to a motion that had taken and was denied, if the chair and the committee, they can so reconsider if the applicant is there, if that was the clutch issue. So you would just reconsider the application at that point in the process. And kind of in line with what Judith said, you can withdraw. In making the motion, you would say, after they would present, you would say withdraw, and the motion would be to withdraw and to submit an approval of the application. You would second and go through the same roll call vote. And that would be, if that is the committee's position, and I'm not saying it is, but if it is, that's what would be presented at full board for an affirmation or declination. I hope
Right.
that helps clarify.
yeah,
No,
it
right.
does.
It's
So then I
just-
get, what we'll do is we're gonna go with Andy's first, since that's what's happening right now. Carlos
Okay.
made the motion, right? So I would ask Carlos then if he'd be willing to withdraw his motion. And
Yeah,
then we can,
retract, yeah.
I'm
take
willing to
the vote.
withdraw the motion, but I have a couple of questions.
do you have questions before we take a vote on withdrawing your motion or after that?
I do it after that.
Okay, so then Carlos is gonna withdraw his motion. I guess we have to take a vote on that. Do I have a
But
second?
I would recommend to hear everything out and then say you're withdrawing and then affirmative and approving. You can combine the two as a Boolean. And that
I'm
makes
sorry,
sense.
I used the word retract, but it's okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
either or. It's, potatoes, potatoes. So,
okay, so we could make like one motion to withdraw
Yep.
the original and, okay, got it. So then
and then
Carlos,
approve.
if you have your
Yes.
questions, go, the floor is yours.
Couple of things. One is, as you know, that corner is a drug infested community. I live right across the street from it. I know they renovated the restaurant, but I've never saw the entrance of a bar to go in there. It's always been like not a restaurant per se, but it was more like a cafe where you could have breakfast. And so I don't know how and what's the reason they're gonna want a liquor license in that area. When I talk about drug infested, it is, we've had murders there, we have killings in that corner. It's very, very not safe at all. We have a precinct right across the street from it. So I don't know why would you want to bring liquor into that particular restaurant when it used to be like a little cafeteria now. I know they renovated, but I don't see how they're gonna open up a bar there. So maybe a person could answer that question.
Carlos, is that near the
Judith.
pizza place?
That's right on the corner of, is the west north corner on 123rd.
Okay,
Right across the street from Borinquen Health Center.
we do have the applicant
Yeah,
here, so let's let them answer his question as to why they are deciding now to get a liquor license and why they think that that would be a positive thing to have there, I guess is the question.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay, so Sandra, if you don't mind,
Yes, how can I turn on my video camera?
You don't have access to video, but we can hear you.
Oh, I see. Okay, no problem. So as you have Sandra Collado, she's the actual owner for the restaurant. We're located at 2262 3rd Avenue between 123rd and 3rd Avenue. So the reason why they wanted to start applying for a hard liquor license is because they just, like he said, they just started renovating the restaurant for the better. They used to be more like a cafeteria, we say diner style for the past, I would say almost 20 years that they have been open. The owners currently is the first time they apply for a liquor license. They never had a liquor license before. So what they're trying to accomplish is just to change the interiors of the restaurant to be more like a bar / restaurant, not to look like a diner, but they still want to maintain a very family-oriented environment. And also they just want to keep the closing hours very moderate every day. So for pretty much like right now, they just want to propose for the liquor, if they get approved, to be closing the restaurant until 1 a.m. in the morning, or if it's possible, just if you agree, we could close a little bit earlier, just to prove that we're gonna be good neighbors. Right now, as far as my knowledge, the owners never have any complaints from the police department. Heard any complaints about the leaking scenes in the restaurant. I'm not quite too sure how the neighborhood is as far as I'm concerned. And I hear a lot of your comments about the block and things like that, which we would like to hear more about it. And for the meantime, so what we would like to propose for the restaurant is just to be a very family-oriented environment. This is not gonna be some sort of like a nightclub type of thing. There won't be any dancing. Just gonna be just background music, no jukebox, nothing like that. And they're still gonna be open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They will want to propose for the first year, maybe to close a little bit earlier. So this way they can try out how the full liquor license works out for them. And as far my knowledge on the block, there are no churches or schools around that I was able to contact. And
There is
yeah,
a school. There is a school.
there's a
across the
school?
street. Yes.
Really? Okay.
And then you have, if I may,
yeah,
you
go
have
ahead.
Taino Towers. That's across the street, which is a residential. And then it's really, that's the hangout where a lot of these substance abuse people hang out at, right on 123rd and 3rd Avenue. So if you're not familiar.
Is it
with the area-
by the dental or by, I'm
No,
sorry to cut you off.
No, it's right in that very same corner where the restaurant is, next to the Chinese restaurant there.
Chinese
It's
restaurant.
drug infested there. And we've had major, and right across the street from there, about
Mhm.
3 months ago, they had a killing there.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty dangerous. So to have liquor going on in that event or in that ambiance, it's kind of like it's scary.
Okay.
I guess my
Ex-
question, because I'm not familiar with this establishment, but
Yeah,
it's like, I looked, it's like 60 seats, so it's a sit-down dining place, right?
Right.
that is correct. That is correct.
I
What
guess,
kind of a restaurant is it?
I believe it's Latin American cuisine.
Dominican,
Dominican,
Dominican.
okay. I guess I hear everything Carlos is saying, and he knows this better than I do, clearly. I guess just my 2 cents is, I don't know if a sit-down restaurant with the liquor license is necessarily going to attract that, a bad element into the place or spread it out, but it could. I've seen that happen with establishments in the area where, it just becomes a place to kind of go in and hang out and loiter. But at the same time, I do feel a little bit bad about kind of holding the applicant responsible for what goes on in the, area around them. It's not really like on them to control that, you know what I mean? It's on them to control what happens inside of their establishment, and I get that it's our decision to decide what's best for the community. What kind of building are you in? Like where
It's
this is,
it's a mixed use building.
how big is it?
It's only 2 levels, so
Two
the
levels?
apartments all the way the back, and the
Okay.
commercials in the entire block in the first floor. I'm not sure if you check on the Google map, there are like beauty salons, there are a bunch of restaurants, retail stores. It's a 2-level huge building.
Okay, and I see there's a Belkis Collado. She's, I guess, part of this application. Am I correct? I see her.
She's
in
the
this-
wife.
The wife?
Yeah, the
Um,
husband, the wife.
Is,
The-
does she, because, I mean, I'm hearing concerns from the committee, so I just want to give you the opportunity to share as much as possible. Is there anything that I understand that you're probably her representative, but is there anything that she would want to share with the committee herself since she's here that might quell some concerns, or, I don't know, just maybe?
Yeah, I just already spoke to her over the phone about it. What could be particular points that you could have a concern. I'm a little familiar with the block, and then since I know it's pretty much the Washington Heights, 123rd Street, is not a really good block, and they understand that the negativity can bring to the community. Again, I spoke to her. She said to me that she's very flexible with possible closing hours for alcohol, just to control all the possible activity what will go wrong inside the restaurant. Again, she just want to maintain pretty much the same method of operation that she been used to for almost the past 20 years for this
Just with
restaurant.
alcohol, yeah.
Yeah, just alcohol, and just a very little low volume background music. And also she knows about the block, that she knows it very well, and she's very she can cooperate with the community just to make sure that she comply with you guys, and to make sure that you don't have any complaints, and follow all your recommendations and stipulation for this.
Carlos, how would you, and I'm speaking to you because I'm not really seeing anybody else making comments on this. Would it help your concerns at all? They're saying they're flexible with the hours. 1 a.m., 7 days a week is usually reasonable, but maybe in this case, since they have never had.
Yeah, 1 a.m. sounds fine.
No, but I mean, would you be, because I hear your concern. Would you feel better about this if, because they're saying they're flexible with their hours, if we maybe had them stop selling liquor like at 11 p.m., maybe give them midnight on the weekends, but 11 p.m. during weekdays, and then if it goes well, they can always come back and change the hours if that's something that.
I could think probably that would work, but the other lady comes from Washington Heights, but this is not Washington Heights. This is an area where it is very, very prevalent of people just hanging out there. There is a substance abuse program there as well.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the block there. But I don't, I want them to survive. They've been here 20 years. They're good standing with the community. But when you start doing something different, things do change. And we have to be very cautious, especially in that area where you have not only substance abuse people hanging out there, but you got gangs hanging out in that area as well. So
Yeah.
she needs to be very cautious that, whatever she does, that, it doesn't come back and hurt the community, because right across the street, you have, 3,000 families, 2,000, 1,000 families, and a lot of children across the street. So we just want to be, ought to be cognizant of, that we do exist and we're right across the street.
Okay, thank you. Angela, before I call on you, since we're on that point, Sandra, I know you said that that the ownership is flexible about potentially closing a little bit earlier. And I think maybe, this is one of those, things where we would walk, let's try walking before we run.
Yes, of
And
course.
I'm not making any promises, but it might help make the committee feel a little bit better if you say you're flexible. So when we're talking about flexibility with the hours, what would they be willing to say, do something like Sunday to Thursday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and Friday and Saturday till midnight? And then if that goes well, and there's, let's say, a year from now, 6 months, we don't have any 311 calls or incidents, is that something that they'd be willing to enter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. I spoke to them a few weeks ago about when we were filling out the questionnaires. To be honest, they were not even sure what could be appropriate closing hours by the time we come up to the community board. So for the meantime, I just put a possibility of closing hours for alcohol, but yes, I've mentioned to them that they're very flexible with those hours,
Okay.
and yeah, we can agree with to it.
Okay, and again, it's not something that, it's just for the time being to see how it goes. But before we go any
Yeah.
further with that, Angela, I see your hand up.
Yes. Okay, so since I'm not completely versed on all our rules and regulations, there is a church down the block, because that restaurant is across the street from the Borinquen Health Center, which is down the street on the same side is a church.
Right.
That's one. There are schools over there, but I worked over there, and I express, I don't know the right word to utilize, but I have concerns, because as I remember it, the food was excellent, but
Oh,
people
thank
weren't
you.
just outside the store. They were inside the store as well. And if you want to talk about a crawl before you walk, then why not maybe just beer and wine, or just see what it's like to be a restaurant, because I've been in there. And yes, you could
Okay.
sit down, but you might not. So she's upgraded it. Why don't we work with the food first before we start? Because it's not going to change the dynamic outside. And I think it could exacerbate the dynamic outside, because they've been able to go in and out of there before. What says that the individuals will not continue to go in and out and then add fuel to a fire that we don't need to see?
Okay, in regards to Angela's concern, and I'm gonna defer then to Carlos and Angela on distances. It's a 200-foot rule
Okay.
for churches and schools. And I believe the way it works is you go from like the center of the entrance, and it's a straight line measurement to the like main entrance of the school or
Okay.
the church.
So the church's main entrance is more than 200 feet away, I would
Okay.
say. Yes.
Yeah, and the school is about.
Because you cross the street, that right
Right.
there is probably at least half of that. And then it's down the block.
And then the kids use that very same street to go to the subway or to go to their homes, because they got a course right on Third Avenue. So you do get a lot of congregation of kids hanging out in front of that, actually not in front of Tainito, but on the corner of 123rd.
Do you think the school though itself, the entrance or the school itself is within or outside of the 200
It's
foot?
a little outside. It's more
I think it's
towards on Second
outside,
Avenue.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, but we do have to take into account that there is a school and a church
Mhm.
relatively close. If it's not 200, maybe 250, 300, is the vibe I'm getting here. The
Isn't
rule is
there
two,
also-
the rule itself is a firm 200, but obviously we're entitled to come to our own conclusions however we feel. Judith, go ahead.
Isn't there also a drug facility place on 123rd, right in the middle of the block?
There's a substance abuse and
Yep.
a,
Yes,
uh,
yes. I know, Angela, I know it's there.
Yes.
I've been there. That happens to be, and I agree with Carlos. It's really a terrifying corner, block, that block. I try to stay away from it as much as possible.
The applicant, Sandra, go ahead. I see your hand is up.
Yeah, so when I did the application, and I also checked the Liquor Authority website for the 200-feet rule about the churches and schools. Yes, that's a church like down the block or maybe a little far away. When I did my calculation compared with the Google map and also with the SLA, you can also double check it's more than 200 feet. So that's why I didn't include in the application.
Okay,
Oh,
okay. I
We
think,
agree
yeah, I
that
think,
it is probably.
I think that, yeah, I think the committee, based on what they were saying to me, is that it is outside of it, but they're just concerned because, 200 is a kind of a number that the SLA set, but, each community has its own challenges and each area and each block, so it still could be, as a committee, we can still take it on a case-by-case basis as to like how we feel in terms of our recommendation to the SLA. I mean, I guess I want to take this to a vote, but I feel like I've heard a lot of good comments and stuff. I just, I don't know. Does anybody else want to say anything? I mean, they said they're flexible to hours. Unfortunately, a lot of the concerns are about, and I hear them, are about proximity to a church, proximity to a school, proximity to a drug facility, and then just, and then Taino Towers being right across the street with lots of family and, children, and then the community, that area not being very safe to begin with, and then wondering if something like this just exacerbates that issue. And then on the flip side, just, because we got to weigh the scales. We have a establishment that has been here for 20 years. As far as it seems like Carlos is, familiar, and he hasn't said that there's actually been any issues with the establishment as they've run their business up to now. And, it is a little bit difficult to kind of penalize them for certain things that are not, their responsibility, which is, they are within the rules of being, far enough from the school and the church. I don't believe there is really a rule for drug facilities, although I totally think that's something that needs to be considered. And, again, we kind of have to weigh the thing of like, we're here to support businesses. I think we're pro small business, and especially right now with everything that's going on, but at the same time, making decisions that, protect our community as a whole. So it's a tricky one, but, I'm just gonna, I'll open it to a motion. And before we take the motion, we're going to, whatever that motion is, if it's a deny, it's to deny. But if it's to approve, it would be then not with the 1 AM. I would say that we do it, and if whoever makes the motion wants to change the hours even more, they're welcome to. And we'll see how the applicant feels.
Question,
Yep, go ahead.
can we make a recommendation for it not to be a full liquor license and just wine and cider?
Okay, and that's a good point. So wine, beer, and cider license.
Yes.
Okay, Sandra, I don't,
Mm.
before we even get into how that would work at the moment, because
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
Is the applicant open to that suggestion?
Can I just dial her right now? She was supposed to be on Zoom.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you,
Yes, we will wait. So make that phone call and we'll wait.
okay, give me 1 second.
And just get, before you call her, Angela, would you be okay with, just so they kind of, good
Okay.
faith on both
1
ends?
sec.
Yeah, hold on 1 second before you make that phone
Sorry.
call. Yeah, I just want to, because I want you to relay something if we agree here. Let's say they do a wine, beer and cider license and a year
Okay.
from now, there's no incidents, or 2 years from now, there's no incidents.
Oh, I would be fine
Willing to revisit them
to
coming back? for
revisit
approval?
that. Yes, absolutely. Because I'm
Okay.
thinking, she said they just fixed it up. They don't know how business is gonna be as this new type of restaurant that
No, I-
they're doing. So
I
this
hear
is
you.
an
So it's like
easy in.
it's almost like a trial run. Okay, so Sandra, when you call, when you make this phone call, just say that I think the committee right now would be more comfortable approving this as a wine, beer and cider license. If the applicant doesn't want to make that concession, then we'll take the vote on the application as it is. But if they're willing to do that, it's something that then we'd be willing to revisit. I don't know, 6 months, a year from now, you can.
I'm even good with 6 months. Let's see
Okay,
how
then.
6 months go.
Okay.
Because
Now, if you wanted to come back before the board and apply for them, and there's no incidents, no 311s, no police calls, nothing like that, it'd be something I guess we consider. But before that, now, Marlene, I see your hand up, so go ahead.
he said we can't do that.
Okay, so Adem, I have a question for you. That your notice that they gave is requesting for full, and that's what this public hearing is addressing. They're full. So the board does not have a notice for wine, beer and cider. That's not.
That's what I
notified
wanted to
about.
ask you. That's why I wasn't even sure what the actual, how the procedure for that would be.
Yeah, they would
So,
have to re-notify with what they want.
yeah, okay, so then you know what?
Just vote the way it is.
Yeah, and then if it's a no, they can come back. You know what? If it's a no, they can maybe come to executive. No, they'd have to do a 30-day notice and all that. I don't think they'd be able to do it this.
Right.
Yeah, because the public knows.
Yeah, I know, the public notification.
Yeah,
No,
for
I totally
full.
hear you. And they're
Yeah.
under the assumption that it's a full, even though technically it's less, we'd still have to let them know exactly what it is. Okay,
Right.
so then, again, we'll forget that phone call, forget everything, scratch all that. I'm going to take a motion.
Yeah, because
Sandra, your hand is up.
all new documents.
Judith,
Yeah.
Judith, just hold on 1 second, or raise your hand. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Mr. Adam?
No, I said they would have,
Yeah, they'd have to do
they
everything.
would have
from
to do all
scratch.
new documents. Yeah, that would be, yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay, Sandra, go ahead.
I just wanted to say when I dial her, she said she's here on Zoom. I'm not sure if you see her name.
No, we see her, and I had
She wanted
asked
to
you-
talk.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna let her talk. I just want to say now that that whole proposal on a wine, beer and cider license, we cannot entertain that this month because the notice to the 30-day notice and the posting, the 7-day posting on your window was all for a full liquor license. So we
Yes.
can't change that, but we will be taking a vote on the application as it is. But in the meantime, if the applicant wishes to speak herself, the floor is hers. She just has to unmute herself if she can.
Yes, you're able to speak. You just have to unmute when you're at.
Okay. Let me see.
You just go to the bottom of your screen and just unmute your
Yeah, it
yourself.
should be the bottom left, the mute button. You'll
Mhm.
just click it.
Let me talk to her in Spanish. Okay.
Okay.
Sandra, por favor,
Sí,
prende el micrófono. El
Sí,
micrófono.
sí, sí, está prendido.
Okay.
We hear her now.
Ok, ok, Sandra, lo que si estás escuchando, voy a resumir lo que están diciendo.
Ujú.
Hasta el momento, ellos tienen algunas inquietudes porque el vecindario es un poquito
Sí, la escuela,
negativo.
peligros.
Las,
Ujú,
bueno, en la escuela, la iglesia está al fondo y básicamente usando la calle un centro de drogadictos.
ujú, ujú.
Como ya sabes, y obviamente quieren asegurarse que tú no tengas ningún problema por el full equalizing.
Ok.
Solamente quieren asegurarse si tú estás de acuerdo de bajar las horas de operación, aunque sea a las
Es-
11 de la mañana, 11 de la noche, ciertos días, y un poquito más temprano otros días.
Seguro, no hay problema. Of course.
Ok, pero estaban hablando que van a votar ahora, ya que nosotros pusimos una notificación de hard liquor por toda la
Ok.
semana y van a votar ahora mismo sobre nuestra aplicación.
Ok.
¿Quieres decir algo más?
I have a question. Has she been the owner for 20 years or it's been trickled down to several owners? Ask her
Oh,
that
no,
question.
she's been the one. Sandra, ¿tú abriste en qué año el restaurante?
En el 90, nosotros compramos en el 90, espérate, en el 2003, más o menos.
So it's fairly new. So the restaurant has been there for 20 years, but she just bought it. That's what she's saying. So
2003. 2003.
2003.
Yes, to
You
be
bought it in
exact.
2003?
Mhm.
Yes.
Then that's a long time. That's almost
Yeah.
20 years. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's not, so she's been there.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything, because I don't speak great Spanish, but from what I gathered, you were basically explaining to her what we were asking, but you said that she wanted to say something. Is there anything that she wants to share?
Well, I'm not sure if you wanted to ask her about the beer and wine application or just
Well,
wanted to proceed with the voting.
So
Yeah.
basically, what I was saying was, and Marlene brought it to my attention, procedurally, we'd like to do that, but procedurally, we can't because there's a whole notification system with the public, which is the 30-day notice and the 7-day penalty, and that all says that you're doing a full liquor license. So
That is correct.
in order to do the beer, wine, and cider license, you'd have to do a new 30-day notice and posting, then to
Right.
make the community aware of that change in your application. So we're gonna have to take a vote on it as a full liquor license tonight. The hours thing is, so now really we're just
Mhm.
left with the hours thing,
Mhm.
which might quell the concerns enough. I don't know, but what I had proposed was the 7 a.m. opening time seems fine. 11 p.m. Sunday to Thursday and Friday and Saturday midnight, but I still have hands, so now I'm gonna go to Angela again.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
no,
was just,
listen, I appreciate
I
it.
did it too.
I was just thinking about it. Earlier, somebody said that you thought you saw they might have seats. How much seating is the restaurant going to have?
How much seating? Like how many
Like
seats
how
do we
many
have right now?
tables?
11.
11 tables with 4
Yes.
people? How many people can you put in the restaurant to eat at one time?
Let me see.
I think the application says 60, but I could be wrong.
60.
60?
Yeah, 60, because that's a covering the legal certificate occupancy.
Okay, but you're building a bar into that restaurant. Because I've been in that place. So where they serve the food, that was basically like a counter. And it was like not self-serve, but you could stand there and see what you wanted. So
Yeah.
I see that like it could be a bar, but there would not be 40, 60 people that could sit on the other side.
Well, that's a
So-
good question. Are you gonna have a bar or because some places serve full liquor, but they don't actually have a bar. So are you gonna have a bar that people, like a countertop bar that people sit down and drink at or not?
Let me ask you, because since we're doing renovation, I haven't gone to the restaurant to take some photos. Let me ask her directly. Sandra,
Sí.
¿vas a tener una barra para servir el alcohol con sillas altas o solamente vas a quitar el steam table, vas a colocar una barra? ¿Qué es lo que tienes ahora?
Tenemos un counter donde como que es like como barra también.
Pero vas a tener silla ahí.
Sí, claro, tiene silla ya.
¿Cuántas sillas tienes?
6
6 sillas. ¿Y cuántas mesas tienes ahora?
a 11 mesas.
¿Cuántas sillas?
11.
Eh, tiene, ajá, porque hay de 4 y de 2. En
En total,
total,
¿cuántas sillas tienes?
oh my God, tengo que pensar, no sé exactamente. 4, como 20 o 25 sillas.
Okay, so she's saying she actually built a bar, and there's gonna be 6 high chairs, 6 high chairs a bar, and they're currently having 25 chairs, the dining tables with 11 tables.
Okay,
You
this
have
place,
to
this place is still under construction?
No, it's still
No.
they're open. They just did a minor renovation at the bar, and then just did the decoration and the rest to make the place a little prettier.
So all that renovation is done now, and the place is the way it's gonna be.
Exactly. They just finished the renovation last week. That's
So you say
so
it
I
has-
didn't get the
It has 15 chairs and 6 stools. Is that what you're saying?
no, sorry, 25 chairs, 25 dining chairs at the dining room, 11
That's not what she
tables.
said, though. She said 16. ¿Tiene
No, she
16?
said 25.
¿Cuánto? ¿Cuántas sillas tú tienes para el restaurante?
Hay 6 en la barra, como en el counter, y 20 o 25, no estoy segura, 20 a 25 en el salón.
What did she say,
Okay.
Carlos?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
That's what she
I'm
said.
asking, what did she say?
She said that she has 6 stools in front of the bar and about 20 to 25 chairs for seating, eating arrangement.
Okay, so then it's a 30-person occupancy.
That's correct.
Okay, so not 60. All right, Judith, go ahead.
Yeah, I just noticed something. It says number of floors, 2. What does that mean?
See, the how we-
It's actually basement and first floor. So
Good, good
because
idea.
whenever I do the liquor authority always want to specify the basement is also part of the floor. I know it sounds confusing,
Oh,
but they want
that is true. So that I've heard that too. They want to know if it's because you might be storing alcohol down there or whatever. So technically.
yeah.
it's
Okay, I
part of-
just noticed that. I was
No,
curious.
that's a good catch. Okay. Do I have any other questions, or then I'm gonna send this to a motion? Do I have a motion?
Can I say something real fast?
Yeah, of course.
So the motion, whoever makes the motion, like you said earlier, can you just be clear about the hours in your motion?
Right, if it's a motion to approve, please specify the hours. So it's a 7 AM opening. I don't think anyone's gonna have an issue with that if they're approving it. It's just the closing time. And I had thrown out Sunday to Thursday, 11 PM, Friday, Saturday, midnight. They had asked for 1 AM, 7 days a week. They say they're flexible. So if whoever makes the motion feels more comfortable with even maybe restricting the hours a little bit more, go ahead, and we'll take that motion. And if it's a motion to deny, then that you don't need to say any of that. So, again, do I have a motion on this? Now, since I'm seeing some trepidation here,
I have a motion to deny.
okay, there's a motion to deny by Angela. Do I have a second?
Nobody's speaking up?
I'll second it.
All right, I have a second by Carlos, to deny. So Marlene, will you please take the roll?
Madam Briha,
So I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm not in support of the denial.
Carlos
Yeah.
Diaz,
Nine.
Angela Donadell,
Deny.
Judith Fabaro,
Whew, okay. Yeah, deny. Hard choice.
Miguel Pava,
Deny.
Jordan Wright,
Not in support of denial, whatever the proper phrasing would be. My apologies.
okay.
That was good. I like that. I don't know how to say it either.
Thank you, thank you.
The motion to deny carries.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was a
Now,
tough
can I
one.
set another motion
Um,
right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll hear your motion. Yeah, go ahead.
So I
Isn't
want
that like
the
a
motion
friendly
for them
amendment?
to return with the application for just the cider.
Oh, you don't have to make a motion for that.
We don't have to do that?
No, no, no.
Right.
So,
Okay,
No.
never mind.
and I'm in agreement with you. I know where you're going with this.
Okay.
You can, if you want to say it, but you don't have to make a motion.
No, I don't.
Then I'll
talk
say
anymore.
it. So Sandra, I'm
Mm.
sorry that it got denied. This is my recommendation. It sounded to me like the committee was comfortable with this application if it was a wine, beer, and cider license for the time being. I'm hearing.
And the
Okay.
hours.
I'm hearing
And
6
the
months.
hours.
And the hours. So if and to make it simple, I think if we do wine, beer, and cider, I think the committee would be comfortable with a straight midnight, 7 days a week. So we don't have to, make that confusing. So I
Right.
would say 7 a.m. to midnight, wine, beer, and cider. Let's say like a 6-month trial run, right? Just so you guys have some kind of vision going forward with your business. That if in 6 months, there's no 311s, no police reports, no complaints, that you have then an open invitation by us, at least. You can do it if you want, whenever you want, really, but that we would definitely be willing to entertain then your application for a full liquor license. So for the time being, do everything you did for this month's meeting now for
Okay.
next month. So you're gonna have to send Marlene a 30-day notice
Okay.
for a wine, beer, and cider license, fill out the stipulation form again, and everything can relatively stay the same. It's just where you put full liquor, you're saying wine, beer, and cider. So 30-day
Can I
notice,
make a
Okay.
request?
And the hours.
and the hours need to be 7 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. And Angela, go ahead.
Can I request, since you said the restaurant is already renovated, could you send us a picture of what it looks like on the inside?
And I had to go there. I had to go there this week to take picture because they was supposed to call me when
Can't
they
ask for
finish the
that
renovation.
still?
Yeah.
No,
I will do that for next
I'm
meeting.
across the street. I'll drop by as well, and I could just let you know the layout.
All right, thanks,
It's okay.
Carlos.
But
Okay.
take your time. We won't need to see those pictures. I mean, we'll need to see them when you submit your application. So just, if you don't mind having, I think that is helpful, just like a picture of the floor plan. So everyone who
Okay.
isn't familiar can get an idea, or anyone who hasn't seen the new location. Okay. I know it was long and I'm sorry it didn't get approved, but hopefully this will be fixed next month and, the business will thrive and everything will be good moving forward. Okay.
Yes,
thank you for
we
both-
understand. We
No,
understand.
and
We can-
I think we all really appreciate your responsiveness, and as well as the applicants and their flexibility. So we look forward to having you here next month. And before that, we wish you a happy holidays and a happy new year. And that's the same. We'll probably all see each other at full board, but happy new year, happy holiday, whatever you
Thank
celebrate.
you.
Marlene, do you have anything you want to say before we go? I know I was rambling, so.
I was gonna say,
No.
you're ending the meeting? That was the end?
That is the end. Judith, do you have anything? Anybody? Anything? Anyone who wants to share?
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy
Yes,
holidays.
happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays. I'll see
Good night,
you.
But
everyone.
we'll see
Thank
each
you.
other before
We will. We
the
will.
holidays, right?
That is true. We will. At least.
All
the
right.
Well, yeah, when, I was gonna ask, when is executive? I don't even know. All
I
right,
don't
never
know.
mind.
Look at the calendar.
Night,
Good night, everyone.
Not everyone.
good night.
Night.
Right.
My,
Good night.
my
Thank
dog,
you.
my dog is sleeping.